Here we are, Math 1323 Explorations in Mathematics. This is the final exam review. There are 60 questions on this document. This document should be provided to you through MyFire and or your email. You can print it off or just take a look at it there. There are 60 questions here. What I am actually going to do is I'm going to do the even questions in this video. I'm not going to do all 60. And why I'm not doing all 60, well, what I notice is there are roughly 2 for each type of question you might see on your final exam. So I'm going to do one for you and then let you guys try the other one on your own. All the answers to these questions are provided on the last 2 pages of this document. So on the last 2 pages, you should be able to see all the answers to these. So let's jump right in here. Question number 2, you write the Egyptian numeral as a Hindu Arabic numeral. So we have 10,000 here 4 times. So we know we've got 40,000. And then we've got the lotus flower, if I remember from class. That's another 2,000. I'm actually a little sad that there was no astonished person. 1 million would have been cool to do here. I believe it's the horseshoe for 10. These were 10K, by the way, 10,000. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horseshoes. That's 50. And then we have just the slash mark for 3. So once we translate all those, we're going to add this up and get 42,053. So there were no wrapped or spiraled coils there for the 100s. So 42,053. Write the Hindu Arabic numeral as a Roman numeral. So here's one strategy. Let's split this up as 450 and 9. How would we write 400? Well, if you recall from class, you cannot put the same symbol 4 times in a row. But what you can do is put a smaller symbol in front of a larger symbol to indicate subtraction. So if I highlight here the 500 and the 100, putting C, D together is actually 400. The C is 100, the D is 500, but because C is smaller and it comes in front, that's an indication for subtraction. So that's going to be your 400. 50 is going to be your L, and 9, similar to what we had to do for 400, I'm going to put a 1x for 9 because x is 10. If I put the 1 behind it, that's 11. If I put the 1 in front of it, that's a 9. So my Roman numeral here for question number 4 is CDL. CDL, like the driver's CDL. CDL 1x or IX, and there is your Roman numeral for number 4. Question number 6. To me, one of the more challenging questions on the exam, so kind of put a little star and alert here. Let's change colors. Given the numeral, we got 111 base 2. We're going to write this in a base 10. Okay, so we're going to write this in a base 10. So we have 3 place values here, if you will. This place value is 2 to the first power. This place value is 2 to the 0 power, 2 to the first power and 2 to the second power. These are the place values. If you think about our number system, made up number 463, this is actually 3 times 1, 10 to the 0 power. This is actually 6 times 10 to the first power because that's 60. And then this is the hundreds digit. So the hundreds digit would be 4 times 10 to the second power. So we're going to do a similar thing here with our base 2 number. Instead of a base 10 place value, we have a base 2 place value. So might need this space a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the number 111 base 2 and we're going to expand it out. So we have 1 times 2 to the second power plus 1 times 2 to the first power plus 1 times 2 to the 0 power. And I'm going to highlight a few things here. The 0 power, the 1 power, and the 2 power. That's because of what we discussed over here at the very beginning, where we're going to expand that number out. Now we multiply. So 1 times 2 to the second power is 4. 1 times 4 is 4 plus 2 to the first power is 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then 2 to the 0 power is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 is indeed equal to 7. It is technically 7 base 10. We usually don't write it like that because we're familiar with our base 10 number system, and it's what we use on a daily basis. So you probably could get away with just writing the number 7. Now, kind of the opposite direction, instead of expanding it out to a base 10, how do we kind of condense it back down to a base that's smaller than a 10? So we're going to take a look at question number 8. We're going to write the number 63, which is currently a base 10 number, and we're going to write that as a base 8 number. So first off, what I'm concerned about is the powers of 8. 8 to the 0 power is 1. 8 to the first power is 8. 8 to the second power is 64. 8 to the third power. My goodness, the question is, how long do I keep doing this? I mean, do I keep doing this forever? Because 8 to the third power is 512. Can I be honest and authentic with you? I had to grab a calculator just to make sure. I thought it was 512, but I didn't want to accidentally make a mistake here. So here's the issue. How long do I keep doing this process? Do I do 8 to the fourth power? No. If I'm trying to convert the number 63, I'm actually going to stop here with the power of 8. Because I don't need 64 because it's too large. So we're going to expand the powers of 8 out till we get to the largest power that's not larger than the number we're converting. So we're trying to convert 63. So my process is this. We're going to take that 8 and we're going to divide into 63. So how many times does 8 go into 63? It goes 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. We're going to subtract, bring down the 7. And then this 7 is going to go up into the dividend location, and we're going to divide by the next power of 8. So this 1 is that 1 right there. This 8 is that 8 right there. 1 goes into 7 7 times, remainder of 0. Now we're not done with the problem just because there's a remainder of 0. We're actually done with the problem because we used the final power of 8. So my answer is going to be these numbers up here. So what we are saying is 63 base 10 is the same thing as 77 base 8. Notice I didn't say 77 because 77 is a base 10 number. So I said 77 with a base of 8. I know you guys know this. My wife picks on me all the time because I say this stuff in the video, but pause, fast forward, rewind. You guys can do that at any time to go back and rewatch something if something's not quite clicking. Email me, let me know if you have any issues or questions, and we'll jump on there and help you guys out. Next page, here we go. Add in the base indicated. Again, maybe one of the more challenging questions on the test, just because we forgot kind of what to do as it relates to adding in different bases. What I want to do first, though, is I want to show something like this. 46 plus 39. When I add 46 plus 39, this is a made-up example in base 10 because I want to illustrate a point. When I add 6 plus 9, hopefully you know that 6 plus 9 is 15. However, I do not write 15. What do I write? Well, we write the 5 and we carry the 1. Why? Why do we write the 5 and carry the 1? Well, the reason why we're writing the 5 and carry the 1 is because we're in a base 10. We actually subtract the base and we write the leftovers right here as a 5. And then we carry the 1 over. So 1 plus 4 plus 3 is 8. So 46 plus 39 is indeed 85. Now, how does that relate to us with our question on number 10? Well, we're going to write it over here. Hopefully I left myself enough space. 3024, 4023. Here we're in a base 5 number system. What that means is I can only use the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So first column here, 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. But wait a second, that's bigger than my base. So what do? I subtract 5. Why 5? Because that's my base. That gives me 2. Notice what we did here. After we subtract, we wrote the leftovers in that slot. So 2 goes in the slot. We carry the 1. Why do we carry the 1? Because that's the next place value over. So 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. Too large. Subtract the 5 gives me 0. So I write a 0, carry the 1 over. I'm not writing 0 because we have 0. I'm writing 0 because it actually was too large and kicked to the next place value. Well, 1 plus 0 is 1. We're good there because that's lower than base 5. 4 plus 3 is 7. Again, 7 minus 5 is 2. So we write a 2, carry the 1. There's nothing left over there, so it ends up giving us 1. So if I added 3024 base 5 plus 4023 base 5, my final answer would be 12102 base 5. Okay. Next section, multiply using lattice multiplication. So first off, we're going to set up a box. So again, I'm only doing the evens here on this particular video. That way you guys have some problems left over to sort of work on your own. So we're going to create 3 columns here for 1, 9, 6. Going to create 2 rows here for the 4 and the 3. We're going to throw some blue lines in here kind of diagonally. So a lot of this is just set up here for the lattice multiplication. Now let's do some work. I don't know if you heard that, but I'm at home recording. I think one of my kids just broke a dish in the kitchen, so I have to check that out here. So we're going to multiply 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 3 is 18. Notice the corresponding numbers go in the box of the column and row that match those numbers. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 3 is 27. 1 times 4 is 0,4. 1 times 3 is 0,3. Now we do all that, then what happens? Well, we're going to extend these out just slightly, our little diagonal lines, and we're going to add using the place value kind of on the far right. 8 is what we have, so it's an 8. But look in here, we've got 4 plus 1 plus 7, that is 12. So 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. So 4, carry the 1. 4 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. And we have a 0 over here because of that 0. And then we read the number in this direction. So my answer is 8,428. So, good thing about this question is you can actually check, punch in the calculator. What is 196 times 43? Well, it's a grand total of 8,428. So really what we're testing here is the process with the lattice multiplication, setting up your grid. Answer the following questions if necessary, round to 1 decimal place. So again, we're doing the even questions. 32% of 50 is what number? There are several different ways you can do this. My favorite way is actually the is over of equals percent over 100. We talked about part divided by whole in class. That's another method if you prefer that. So 32% of 50, that's your of 50, is what number? So the is what number is the part we don't know. So that's going to be x over 50 equal to 32. That's your percent. 32% over 100. I would use what's called the cross multiply technique here. Cross multiply is where you multiply the numerator of your first fraction times the denominator of your second fraction. So you cross multiply here, and that gives you 100x equal to whatever 50 times 32 is. I want to say that's 1600. Please help me out there if that's not correct. Send me a quick message. So x equals 16. And then we go back and kind of make sure, does our answer make sense? 32% of 50 is 16. Think about it. 32% of 60 is 15. 32% of 50 is 16. Well, 16 over 50 indeed would equal 32 over 100, would it not, if you just double the two numbers? So that kind of confirms our answer is correct. Question number 16. What percent of 75, there's your is over of, that's 15 over 75, is 75 of 75. What percent? Well, this time we don't know the percent, so that's going to be your x over 100. So is over of equals percent over 100. Cross multiply, we get 75x equal to 1,500. Divide both sides by 75. X equals a grand total of 20. And we see that that indeed was a percent. So that would be 20%. Okay? Man, you guys are doing a great job. My apologies here. This is not pervious. It should have been previous. Spelled it right here. Did not spell it right. My bad. My mistake. I will catch that and fix that for next semester. However, you guys won't know because if you take this class and pass it, you probably won't have me next semester. So, sorry for that. Question number 18. Again, we're just doing the evens on this one. That way you guys can practice on your own for the odds. Weight loss. January 1, Juan weighed 235 pounds. Decided to diet and exercise. June 30th, weighed 210. Determine the percent change in Juan's weight from January 1st to June 30th. So right now we are sitting at 210 pounds. The previous amount was 235. So using the formula, the amount in the latest period, so that's 210 minus 235, divided by 235 times 100. So we're using this formula right here. So that's going to yield for us, if we multiply. So you can do a lot of this in your calculator. I would do 210 minus 235. Press enter, that's negative 25. Divided by 235. That's a big long decimal, times 100, and that gives you negative 10.6. Just curious why it's negative. Any thoughts out there? I'm doing a pre-recorded video and I just asked the audience if there are any reasons why it was negative. No one's going to respond to me. It's a recorded video. It's because it is a percent decrease. So we have 10.6% decrease. So that is the percent decrease. Good job, Juan, for losing some weight. 235 down to 210. That's good for you. We should all strive to live healthier lives. Question number 20. Answer the following questions involving the simple interest, if necessary, round all dollar figures to the nearest cent. The city of Bradenton is offering a simple interest loan to startup businesses at a rate of 3.5%. So that's going to be key information. Mr. Canada obtains one of these loans at $6,000 for 3 years to help pay for the startup costs for his restaurant Ortegia. Whew, brutal. Mr. Kanata must repay the city after 3 years. Determine the amount that he must repay the city after 3 years. Well, first off, interest equals PRT. So your interest is going to be your principal, which is $6,000, times your rate. Here's a key part. This could be tricky. It's your rate as a percent. So we have to move that decimal over 2 places to give us 0.035 times 3. Now your calculator is going to be able to handle all of that. Your interest amount is going to be $630. Yay! We're paying interest. Wait a second. Go back and read the question. Determine the amount of money Mr. Kanata must repay. You not only have to pay the interest, my friends, you have to pay back the money that you borrowed. So the repay amount here is going to be the $6,000 he borrowed plus the $630. So that would be $6,630 that Mr. Kanata has got to repay for Artesia. Use the compound interest formula to compute the total amount accumulated. This is question number. Sorry, I'm stringing my words together. Let me get more professional. Question number 22. P is the 7,500. I can't do that for long if you know me. Rate as a decimal is 0.016. We've got to move that decimal 2 places. N here is 4. We need to discuss why N is 4. It's compounded quarterly. So that's going to be 4 times a year. 4 quarters in $1, 4 quarters in a basketball game. 4 times T is going to be 5 for the 5 years. Now that we have all of the numbers, let's go ahead and plug it in. A equals principal, 7,500, times 1 plus, now this is going to be your rate as a decimal, divided by divided by 4, excuse me. I was about to write the wrong thing there. Divided by 4 raised to the 4 times 5 power. So we've got we got 0.016 divided by 4 plus 1. So that is 7,500 times 1.004 raised to the 20th power. So we have 7,500, parentheses 1.004, close parentheses raised to the 20th power, gives us a grand total of $8,123 and we'll say 36 cents. Okay. So great job on that one. Formula will be provided for you, so don't let that freak you. That's probably a common question. Are the formulas provided? Whatever was provided to you in your regular test, you're going to be provided with the same thing on your exam. Answer the following questions if necessary. Round to the nearest cent. Question number 24. New air conditioner. Juan's back at it again. Paid $7,000 for a new central AC unit for his house. He financed with a 36-month installment loan with an APR of 5%. Determine the finance charge. So this is where you use the chart up above. So see, we have the 36-month row, and then we have the 5% row. So you're going to look at the number that crosses that row and column, and that number is 7.90. So what does that number mean? Right here, this is often overlooked. This is the finance charge per $100. If you borrow $100 from me, I'm going to charge you $7.90. But if you borrow $200 from me, I'm going to charge $15.80, just shy of 16 bucks. So the first thing is determine your finance charge, $7.90 per $100. Second thing you need to figure out, how many times do I need to pay that fee? Well, I'm borrowing $7,000. So divide 7,000 by 100, and that's 70 groups of $100. 70 groups of 100. Then the third, the third thing that you need to do is to take this $7.90 and multiply by the number of groups. So 7.9 times 70 gives us a grand total of $553. Now, I want to make sure students understand what these numbers mean and put it in context. It did say determine Juan's finance charge. His finance charge is $553. That doesn't sound bad. Keep in mind, though, he does have to repay the $7,000 that he borrowed. He financed it. So technically he borrowed it, not paid it. But he will have to pay the $7,000 plus the $553. But this question just asked for the finance charge. So the finance charge is that $553 amount. Roland, great job. You guys are doing awesome out there. This was chapter 13, I want to say. Chapter 13, your graph theory. Create a graph with the given properties. There are many possible answers for questions, so don't limit yourself to just one thing or something you see in the answer. We need 2 odd vertices. Well, first off, your vertices are going to be dots or locations or points like this. So there's AB. So I have 2 vertices, but right now nothing is really going on. But if I connect the two, do you guys remember the conversation we had about the degree? So the degree of this vertex right here is 1. The degree of this vertex is 1. So both of them are odd. So I have 2 odd vertices. But now I'm curious how many different other ways we could do this. So if I drew AB like this, right now they each have a degree of 1. But what if I drew like a line or a path here? Now they're both even. That's an issue because we were supposed to have 2 odd ones. So what if I drew like another path here? What is the degree of each vertex? So that's a degree of 3, 1, 2, and 3. This is a degree of 3, 1, 2, and 3. So do I have 2 odd vertices? Man, you betcha I have some odd vertices there. just to give you something to ponder, what if we drew a loop? Do you guys remember the loop? It's where you leave and you come right back. A loop. It's almost like a dumbbell, like we're lifting weights. That must be Juan lifting weights again, losing some weight there. This again is a vertex who has a degree of 3. 1, 2, and 3. This one has a degree of 3. 1, 2, and 3. So those to me look like two odd vertices as well. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I did the odd one. Man, I was supposed to make this video only evens. My bad. I did the odd one. Well, you know what? Free of charge. Here we go. Number 26. Here's a sample. What if I drew something like A, C, B, and D? All right. So 2 even and 2 odd. What do you guys think about that? 1 degree, 1 degree. Those are odd. 2 degree, 2 degree. Those are even. What if I drew... This is still on 26. What if I drew A, B, C, D? Right now everything looks even. What if I created a path like this from C to D? That makes C and D both 1, 2, 3 odd, 1, 2, 3 and odd. So I believe that would work for you as well. I'm not going to do it this time. We're going to jump to 28. Determine an Euler path that begins with the vertex F. Well, first off, you have to know what an Euler path is, and it is Euler, not Euler. Euler path is a path where you have to hit each of the edges one time. Here's how I remember this, because in a little bit we're going to talk about Hamilton. E for Euler, E for edge. The E's go together. EE. Some scientific calculators have an EE button. So E for Euler, E for edge. We need to hit the edges one time. Now, I'm going to write down a string of letters first. F, E, D, B, A, C, G, F, C, B, and E. Now, a couple things I want you to notice. First off, it looks like I have 2 C's. Does that matter? No, it does not matter. C is a vertex. I can only hit the edges one time. I might hit the vertices more than once. As a matter of fact, look at C. What's the degree of C? 1, 2, 3, 4. That means I have to arrive and leave, then arrive again and leave again. The only way to hit all those edges. So definitely we're going to hit some vertices more than once. But let's follow this path with me, if you don't mind. F over to E, over to D, up to B, up to A, down to C, down to G, over to F. This is the right here. And you know what? Let's go up to C, over to B. Now again, edges are these segments, the path, and then down to B. So my question is, did I hit a segment more than once? No, I did not. That is your Euler path. Okay? Question number 30. Determine an Euler circuit that begins and ends with vertex B. Well, it kind of gives it away there. It begins and ends. This is what I teach students. A circuit is going to circle back. So think about a circle. If you drew a circle, you're going to start and end at the same spot, are you not? Once you draw your circle, so your circuit is going to circle back. So again, Euler is edges, circuit is start and end at the same. We're going to start. So again, I'm going to just draw a sample of letters here. B, A, F, E, D, F, B, D, C, B. This is going to be one of those questions where you're going to have to do a trial and error just to kind of try out a couple things and see what's going to work out for you. So B over to A, O down to F, down to E, over to D, diagonal back up to F. It's okay to visit F again, but it's edges we're worried about. Over to B, that's this B right here. Then down to C, up D, excuse me, over to C, and then back home to B. And there is your Euler circuit. Okay, great job. Thanks you guys for hanging in there with me. Here we go. Determine 2 different Hamilton paths in the following graph. This is just another one where you kind of have to put pencil to the paper and trying to go for it. Now, Hamilton is concerned with vertices. This is what I think of, the HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. This is your AC guy. 2 times in that coronavirus. You remember the coronavirus a while back? When everybody was kind of quarantined for a while and they canceled school. Well, they didn't cancel school. We did remote delivery. All across the country was remote delivery. So everybody was kind of dealing with that. Our AC was broken for part of that, so the HVAC guy came. So HV, Hamilton, vertices, Euler, edges. I know that one's a stretch, so EE, Here we go. Again, B, A, C, D, G, F, H, E. So I kind of tested these out ahead of time, but here we go. Let's start at B. We're going to go to A, down to C, over to D, down to G, over to F, down to H, and then we're going to end at E. So here's my question. I did not hit this edge, and I did not hit this edge or this edge. There were 3 edges that I missed. Does that matter? No. 3 edges missed does not matter. Why? It was a Hamilton path that I'm concerned about, so I need to hit all the vertices. I hit all the vertices. Matter of fact, you're probably not going to hit all the edges. So here's another one I have, H, E, F, G, D, C, B, and A. So let me erase the arrow here. And again, we're just following a path where we hit all the vertices, H to E to F, O, over to G, up to D, C. And honestly, you could go CBA or you go CAB there at the end, but make sure you hit all the edges. There you go. Question number 34. The following graph represents the cost to travel between 4 locations. Use the nearest neighbor method to approximate the total cost, assuming the trip starts and ends at A. What is the circuit? Well, we're going to start at A and end at A. Here's the nearest neighbor method. It actually is to approximate the cheapest cost, but it may or may not give us the cheapest cost. But the nearest neighbor is basically when I'm sitting at a vertex, what's the cheapest way to fly somewhere? So if I'm sitting at A, the cheapest way to fly or travel is over to B. See that 53? It was either 53, 98, or 92, and I chose 53. Now, sitting at B, what's the cheapest edge that connects to B? Well, it would be back to A, but we're not allowed to go back to A yet. We're supposed to finish at A. So my choices are really 99 or 79. So between those, I'm going to choose D, which is down to the 79. So that's my path down to D. Now, my choices are, I can't go back up to A because that's too early. I have to visit C, so I'm forced to kind of go this direction for 85, and then I'm going to end up back at A because it did say start and end with A. So A, B, D, C, A, that is the circuit. Why is it a circuit? We start and end at A. So what's the total cost? The total cost here would be AB goes to 53. BD cost us 79, DC cost us 85, and CA cost us 92. Add these up, 309. This could be dollars, this could be units, this could be shekels, whatever cost you wanted. Hopefully you guys are still with me. You guys still with me out there? Maybe we're a little more than halfway. I'm kind of curious. What are we maybe like the 30-minute mark or maybe 35-minute mark? I don't know. Now I'm actually curious how close I was to that. If I was going to guess, I'd say we're probably hitting the 34-minute mark right about now. So hopefully I was close. Number 36, corporate structure. Use a tree to show the supervisorial relationship of ABC Industries. So first off, we've got A, Avogadro. He's the president or she's the president. 3 vice presidents. We've got Burton, Christ, and Dent. I think that's me. They forgot the O-N, Denton. There we go. Denton. And then each of the 3 vice presidents, I think we have 3 managers underneath us, do we not? So Burton's managers were Einstein, Feigman, and Gödel. Chris managers were Hebert, Ivanka, and Jetson. And then Denton, that was supposed to be Denton, has 3 managers. My managers are Kelly, Lee, and Manny. My three managers are awesome. So you can put little dots at the end if you want for the vertice, if you like. But this is a tree created with this corporate structure. Question number 38. Use the plurality method. Which restaurant is chosen? The plurality method is simply the number of first place votes. So let's do a little chart here. C, D, B, and J. C got 5 first place votes. D got 2 first place votes, but D also got another first place vote. B got 2 first place votes. Unfortunately, J didn't get any first place votes. Sorry for J. If it's straight plurality, C's the winner. I think that's Chipotle. Man, I could go for some Chipotle right now. Chipotle wins with 5 first place votes. That's the most votes. That's the plurality method. We are going to need this. I know it was odd, but 5 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 10. 10 people voted. We're going to need that maybe a little bit later. So I wanted to go ahead and throw that in there. I'm going to let you guys try the board account. This is where you guys may want to throw me a line on an email if you have any issues. But let's jump to number 40 since plurality and plurality with elimination go together. Each vote votes for one candidate. If a candidate receives a majority, they're the winner. Here's why we needed 37. 5 out of 10, unfortunately, is not a majority. A majority is going to be more than 50%, greater than or equal to 50%. I grew up in the Assembly of God, AG, and we always had the yearly business meeting, and we ever did a vote, they would always say things like we need simple majority or we need majority plus 1, or they would have all kinds of phrases for it. But we had to have more than 50% on a particular election. Here's how plurality with elimination works. The first election goes like this. C got 5 votes. D got 3 first place votes. B got 2 first place votes. J got 0 first place votes. And we did that right here. So we kind of already had this first initial discussion. So here's how elimination works. You eliminate the last place person. J is out. Okay, so J is done. Which we kind of knew that. Unfortunately, what was J? Oh, Jimmy John. Jimmy John's is not bad. Jimmy John's. But unfortunately, Jimmy John's got no votes here. Now, arguably, the second election is really going to be the same. You know, once you take Jimmy John's out of the equation, C is still going to get 5 first place votes, D is going to get 3, and B is still going to get 2. But this is where it gets interesting with elimination. B is now eliminated. And what happens is all those people that voted for B first, that's these people right here, their votes are now going to be reallocated to another place. So follow me on this journey. Chipotle got those initial 5 votes right here. Domino's got 2 votes. That's these 2 votes right here. Domino's picks up another vote. That's Domino's right here. However, who gets those last 2 votes? It was supposed to be Burger King. I'd have gone Jimmy John's over Burger King. It is a made-up example, so don't worry. These votes have to be reallocated. Who do they go to? Well, now that B is eliminated, who was the second place vote getter for these 2 votes? It was Chipotle. So those C, 2 is going to pick up the extra 2, which gives me 7 versus 3. Hey, 7 is a majority. So 7, Chipotle wins again. Chipotle. What do you guys? Do you guys get the bowl there? You guys get the plate? There's like a bowl. You can get a burrito. I think I get the burrito. And then I get chips and guac at the end with like a cherry Coke or something like that. All right, there we go. That's question number 40. We're 2/3 of the way through. Determine the winner using the plurality method. If you don't mind, could we maybe do the board account method? Just because I know it's an odd number, but we already did plurality on the front page. So why don't, if you don't mind, let me do 41 and 43 here. I know they're odd, But because we did plurality and plurality with elimination on the previous page, how many people voted? That's going to be your 38 plus 30 plus 25 plus 7 plus 10. Grand total of 110 people voted. So we're going to need that information for plurality. But let's look at the Borda count method. How the Borda count method works is each third place, in this case last place vote, gets 1 point, and your second place gets 2, and your first place gets 3 points. So we're awarding 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So right here we have S, B, and V. So we're going to calculate the points here. Now, 38 people voted soccer for first place. So that's going to be 38 times 3, which is 114. 38 people voted baseball or basketball? Baseball. So that's going to be 38 times 2 for 76. Volleyball picked up 38 points in that round. So basically what happens is you pick up points based on the number of people that voted. So I'm going to try to color code here. We're going to do that in pink. We're going to do this one in blue, times 3, times 2, times 1. So volleyball picks up the 90 points here. Soccer picks up 60 points. Baseball picks up 30 points. So again, where did I get 30, 60, 90? The 30 times the point value. So let's use red here. So this is 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So baseball picks up 75 points. How did I know? 25 times 3. Volleyball picks up 50 points. And soccer was last in this column. They only picked up 25 points. So color code again. We'll go green on this one. Times 3, times 2, times 1. So baseball picks up 21 points. Good job, baseball. I played baseball growing up. And I played at Southeastern. So soccer picks up 14 points here, and volleyball only picked up 7, so that one hurt volleyball there. And last one, 10. So volleyball picks up the 30 points, and soccer picks up the last place 10, and baseball picked up 20. Now we add these together. You add these numbers up and see how many points we have. Soccer, 223 points. Calculator is going to help us out there. Baseball, 222. I feel like the person that wrote this question probably did that on purpose. They know I play baseball and it was such a close loss. Volleyball picks up 215 points. So on the Borda count method, who is our winner? That would be soccer. Football. That's a universal. Hope I said that right. Football. Universal game there. The whole world plays soccer. So awesome job there. Next question. Post office in Riverside has 3 reasons to distribute the mail. 10 new mail trucks. The trucks are to be apportioned based on the number of houses in each region as shown below. The standard divisor is provided for you, which we are probably going to need that number. So I'm just going to go ahead and write it down. 6,000 divided by 100 is 600. That's the standard divisor. The population 6,000, and divided by 100. Let me check something real quick, if you don't mind. Give me just a second here. 45. Okay. Now, determine each. You know what? I'm sorry. That's a 10. I wrote down 100. I knew. I just kind of had it in my gut. Something wasn't right. I am so sorry. That's a 10. 10 new mail trucks. So it's 6,000 divided by 10. Still 600. So we did have that part right. But I wrote down the wrong number there. So my apologies for that. 600. Determine each region's apportionment using Hamilton's method. So first off, we have the standard quota. The standard quota is going to be the population for a group divided by the standard divisor. The population for a group divided by the standard divisor. So our standard quota here for A, we're going to take this number, 2,592, and divide by the standard divisor, which is 600. So 2,592 divided by 600 gives me 4.32. So again, if you didn't catch that, it was 2,592, the population for the group, divided by that 600 number. And then we're just going to do that for B as well. So that's 1428 divided by 600. So that's 2.38. And we're going to do that for C as well, 1980 divided by 600. So that's going to be 3.30. Now, the lower quota is where we round down. Everything rounds down here, 4, 2, and 3. Now, if we reapportion the trucks in this manner, we only have 9 trucks, 4 plus 2 plus 3. The issue is I have an extra truck, so who gets the extra truck? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Well, one might argue A should get it because they're the biggest. One might argue C should get it because 1980 was the year I was born. Figure out how old I am. But actually, who gets it? B gets the extra truck. Here's why. Under the Hamilton method, this one has the largest decimal here, or largest percent of a full unit. So we're going to add 1 and give it 3. So we have 4, 3, and 3. So this is our reapportionment, if you will, 4, 3, 3. And that does total 10. So A is getting 4, B is getting 3, and C is getting 3. Question number 48, find the standard divisor. Again, I know it's odd, but we're probably going to need the standard divisor. I'm going to try to do this one right here. 50,000 divided by 50, because 50 seats are in the legislature. That equals 1,000. One of my kids just walked in the door. I'm not doing a hey class. We're doing a pre-recorded video. So, anyway, you guys cooking dinner? So, Easter basket. Okay.
That's one.
That's one. Can you say hi, class? No, you got to say it to them because this is a recording. There's no video. Say hi, class.
Hi, class.
All right, that's my daughter, Ruby Jane. She's 3. All right, determine each state's reapportionment using the Hamilton method. So again, our standard quota is going to be the population group, 4,420 divided by 1,000, so that's 4.42. And then the other group is going to be 45.58. So again, we took the population for the group divided by the standard divisor. Okay? Okay? Now, the lower quota is going to be these numbers rounded down. So that's 4, that's 45. Unfortunately, though, that's only 49 seats that are being reapportioned. Sorry for the interruption there. That was my kids. I have 7 of them, so when you're working from home, every now and then you get interrupted. So that's 49. Now, who gets the extra one? I have 50 to give out, and I have 49 here. One might argue that this poor little legislature group here needs an extra one because they have so few. However, 0.58 is bigger than your 0.42. So we're going to apportion 4 here and 46 there. Hey, that's my favorite number, 46. Hey, if you're still with me here, wouldn't that be cool if this was like the 46th minute? I have no idea what it is. But anyway, send me an email. Say, hey, I was watching the video and I heard your kids interrupt you around the 46-minute mark. And you said the number 46 and you said email 46. So this is the review and there's 46 showed up here. We are so close. This is the last page. Algebra. I know this was your favorite unit. We're going to stick to the evens on this one, or we're going to rock it and roll. My advice here is to set a parentheses for every single variable that is in this expression. So notice that I have parentheses opened up. X is equal to -1, so -1, -1, -1 goes in each of the locations. So we have 4 times, now -1 to the third power is -1. -1 to the second power is +1. -3 times -1 is a +3, and then we have +1 here. So 4 times -1 is -4. plus 7 plus 3 plus 1. So that's a 3 plus 1 plus 1. Grand total of 7. Okay, so we're just substituting in the -1 value here. Question number 42, it says determine whether the given value is a solution. So really this is a yes or no question. Similar to what we just did in the previous question, we substitute in the -1. And I put a question mark here over equals because I'm not sure if it equals or not, but we are going to find out. So 2 times +1 plus 4. So that gives us 2 plus 4, which is 6. So does 6 equal -6? Unfortunately, it does not. So the answer here is no. I get a sneaky suspicion that number 51 might be a yes. Here we go. Question number 54. It says solve the equation for the variable. My daughter came in again. Sorry about that. So you're going to distribute the 4 to both terms. So that's 4x minus 8 equal to 3 plus. Now we have 5 times x. And then we have 5 times 4. So 4x minus 8 equals 5x plus 23. All I did there was pick up my like terms. So let me highlight those two. I picked up like terms there. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Really, there's 2 different ways you could do this. One strategy is to subtract 4x from both sides. If you do that, you're left with -8. Just be careful you don't drop that negative. It stays with the 8. X plus 23. And then our final step, if I move the variable to the right, I would need to move the number to the left. So that's -8 plus -23. So this cancels. So we have -31 equal to x. So x equals -31. Okay, just a couple more and we are almost done. Baby, don't write on that. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, question 56. In my opinion, maybe one of the most challenging questions on the whole paper. What we need to find is the least common multiple to 4, 5, and 2 to figure out a way to clear out that fraction. That would be an LCM of 20. So let's multiply every single term by 20. So watch what happens here. 20x divided by 4 plus 60 divided by 5 equal to 20 divided by 2. Hope you guys are Frozen 2 fans. Sorry about that. And we simplify. That gives us 5x plus 12 equal to 10. Subtract 12 from both sides. 5x equals -2. X equals -2/5. So every now and then we end up with a fraction. That's okay. Don't freak out if you end up with a fraction. X equals -2/5. Okay, so we went kind of fast there. You may have to rewind that one just to make sure. Number 58 and 60, this is the solve the inequality and graph. We want to get the x by itself, so we need to add 1 to both sides. So when we add 1 to both sides, we get x is less than or equal to 3. So then when we go to our graph, we have the number 3. Here is really the 2 decisions you need to make. First, is my circle opened or closed? And which way do I shade? Do I shade to the left or do I shade to the right? Well, in this particular question, because x is less than or equal to 3, we're going to have an open circle that gets closed in. So don't leave it open. Close it in because it's equal to 3. And we want everything less than 3. Now, is 2 less than 3? Is 4 less than 3? Everything this direction is less than 3. No, you're 3 years old, baby.
Yeah, I go to the playground with 3.
Okay, my daughter goes to the playground. Hey, we are almost done. Question number 60. Again, another challenging question. The x is not quite by itself. So we're going to add 1 here, add 1 here, add 1 here. So that's going to give me -1 less than x, which is less than or equal to 3. So this is what's called a compound inequality. And a compound inequality is basically 2 inequalities put together. So we're going to put -1 here and -3. Now, Here again, same decision. Opened or closed? Well, this is like two inequalities put together. So let me highlight something for you here. X less than or equal to 3. That's going to be one of them. So that's going to be a closed circle at 3, shaded to the left. Well, if I read this one backwards, negative 1 is less than x. It's the same thing as x is greater than negative 1. Well, how do I do greater than negative 1? Open circle, shaded to the right. So for this compound inequality, they are shaded in the middle of each other. So the only tricky spot we need to watch out for is the open circle because of that sign, the closed circle because of that sign. Okay, now I know it's an odd one, but it's a little different, so I wanted to do 57 real quick for you. Divide both sides by negative 5. Here is a tricky spot right here, tricky. When you divide or multiply by a negative number and an inequality, you have to flip the inequality symbol. So this is going to simplify as x is greater than negative 2. X is greater than negative 2. Now you should know how to graph this on an inequality because we just did two others. Greater than negative 2, so that's an open circle because there's no equal sign here, it's just greater. Open, shaded to the right. Hey, if you're still with me, I just want to say thank you. I just hope you guys have been blessed by this. I hope you do a wonderful job on your final exam. I hope you guys get everything that you need out of this. Fast forward, pause, rewind. I would encourage you to go back and do the odd ones and then check your answers. Email me, let me know if you have any issues. I want to make sure you guys know I'm available to help. This is the final exam review. Math 1323. This is Professor Denton, Prof. D, signing off. God bless.